Hey everyone, you're tuned into InfoQuench with Jeff.
And Amy. Join us as we talk about anything.
And everything.
All the stuff that makes life interesting.
So let's get to it. Hey everybody, and welcome to InfoQuench. I'm your host, Jeff.
And I'm Amy.
And we just wanted to be upfront straight away. We've had audio problems, and we've gone down the Pandora's box of trying to figure out how to fix those audio problems. And let me tell you, on a few occasions, the computer nearly went out the window.
It's true. And it's not, during the time of the pandemic, it's not like we can call up anybody to come over and do a house call and fix up our sound system for us.
Yeah, we truly don't really know what we're doing when it comes to that kind of stuff, but we just troubleshoot and try to figure it out. But anyways, we hope that the audio hasn't been, affected too much from our previous podcasts, and we apologize if it has.
And thank you, YouTube, for all your videos, because that's pretty much the only help we were going to get at this point.
Absolutely. I mean, and that is the only, and even still, we're having problems. But, anyway, we're going to continue on. We are going to continue on with part 2 of the 36 different questions you could ask someone to have them fall in love with you.
To fall in love, or that you can ask your partner to fall more in love. So we had hoped to follow up this episode a little faster after part 1, but here we are with part 2. And if you'll recall, there's 36 questions altogether. We did the first 12 in part 1, and
it was pretty entertaining.
They're interesting. They're good questions. So I encourage you to, maybe if you are so inclined, pop a cork and pour a glass of wine and sit down
always with the wine.
Always with the wine.
Unless you're a non-drinker.
Or pour yourself a cup of coffee or some tea.
Something.
Or water or any other beverage.
Or something.
The beverage isn't that important, but sit down with somebody that...
your significant other, perhaps.
Yeah, whomever you happen to be isolating with at this point. And have a listen to the podcast and maybe ask each other these questions, because it brings about some interesting conversation. So this round, Jeff is going to be doing the asking.
I'm in the driver's seat.
Which means I will be put on the spot to give my answer first.
Well, you're not really put on the spot because you already know all the answers.
I don't really. I know the questions,
questions,
but I don't know what the answers.
Okay.
I actually can't even remember what the questions are because I read them so long ago before the big sound system fiasco.
Yeah, we don't even really know how it even happened.
No,
I don't know.
We may never know, and that's okay.
All right. Question number 13. Are you ready?
I am.
Are you sure? Are you ready out there, loyal listeners? Let's go. Number 13. If a crystal ball could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, the future, or anything else, what would you want to know? Crystal ball. You can find out anything. You can find out how you pass away. You could find out,
I definitely don't want to know how I pass away. Okay. I feel like that would be too morbid. I think probably a lot of people would say, I want to know the lottery numbers so I can win the lottery.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
But because that would be nice too, right? But if you think about it, as we're going through a pandemic, I don't know really what even people with all the money in the world are all going through the same thing we are at the moment. So
yeah.
I think that I would want to know on my deathbed what my biggest regret would have been so that I could avoid that.
Yeah.
So if there was something that I wished I had done
or didn't do
or
shouldn't do.
I think most regrets come from things that you didn't. I think people regret more the things they didn't do than the things they did.
Yeah.
I hope that, people can forgive themselves for the things they did that they have some regret around. But I think the things that will really haunt us in the end of days are the things that we didn't do. When we realize how life has an end point.
Yeah.
And, if we didn't take advantage of opportunity, I think that would be hard to live with. So, yes, that's what I would want to know. What would be my biggest regret so that I could avoid missing out on whatever that opportunity was when it came.
Right. Yeah. I think it's funny because I have a different perspective. I find that I don't really live with regrets. I find I try to find a good outcome in any bad decision, if that makes any sense. But yeah. So I don't know what my answer would be, but I try to live life without any regrets anyways.
Well, but that's not really the question though.
Well, I mean, if you could look in, well, it is in.
I mean, that's
in
your
consideration.
reflection of what my answer
Yeah.
is to the question, but you
Yeah.
could have a completely different answer to that question.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what if
Well,
I had
I
a
don't
crystal
know. It's
ball.
not an
What
answer.
truth about yourself, your life, the truth, the future, or anything else? What would you want to know? I don't know. What would I want to know? I would want to know. I think I'd want to know. Yes, this is it. I know this sounds morbid, but if I passed away while I was alive and I was looking into the crystal ball, I would ask, what is my son's life going to be like? If I'm no longer around, I want to know what his life would be like. You know what I mean? Kind of thing.
Oh. Yeah,
I
but
think-
what if it wasn't great?
I know,
Is
but
that a note you want to end on?
I would ask the crystal ball only to tell me the good things about his life.
Oh, so
Like,
you're
what
getting
do
very
you-
specific with
Yeah.
this crystal ball. I'm not letting you off the hook that easily with these questions.
This crystal ball would be in my Rolodex. Yeah. All right.
So can you filter, dear crystal ball, please filter out all negativity and give me only the good view.
That's right. Just give me all the good things about my son because I won't get to see him grow up.
All right, that was a hard question. I found
Yeah.
that one complicated.
Yeah.
Maybe this next one will be a little easier. So what's question 14?
Question 14 is there something that you've dreamed of doing for a long time? Why haven't you done it? You want to skydive or something crazy like that?
That is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of fits a little bit with my answer to the first one about, that we tend to we regret things more, the things we don't do than the things we do. I would like to, I've always wanted to write a book.
Yeah.
That's something
Why
that
haven't you?
I guess I don't have a lot of
Confidence? Yeah.
in my ability to put my thoughts down in paper.
Okay.
Maybe that's it.
But
And the other thing I would like to do is, I would like to do more volunteer work or service to my community. And the reason I haven't done, that at the level that I would like to, I think I've just felt like just bogged down with everything, with, being a parent to a young child and working full time and all that, and those all sound like excuses. And now when we're sort of in the midst of this pandemic,
you got lots of time on your hands, right?
So more time to reflect on what's important, and I feel like that is something that I would very much like to get more into. That one was hard. That's
should.
a hard one.
I know that you've been doing a lot of journaling, so you could just take that idea and expand
For
it,
writing,
perhaps.
I don't know. The thing I love about the idea of writing a book, or I guess it's creating any piece of art, is that you have sort of this eternal thing, right, that outlives you. And
Yeah.
it's sort of a mark you leave on the world. And you think of the great artists of the past and how we go back to literary works and works of music. And,
Yeah.
it's a way, it's an immortality in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to do it at such a great level for that to happen. Well, I don't know.
It's a good answer. Well,
What's your answer?
I think you should start writing. That's my thing that I think you should do. Is there anything you dreamt of doing for a long time? Why haven't you done it? There really isn't. I know this is a cop-out of an answer, but there really isn't something I've dreamed of doing for a long time and I haven't done. I do it all. I do all the things I dream of. No, I'm just joking.
It is a hard one, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
even like if I was on my deathbed and I didn't write a book, I wouldn't be very disappointed. So I don't know if I could do. I feel like I want to renege my answer.
That's okay.
But the community service one, I think I can up my community service level.
Well, you already
I think
have.
we all can.
The local food for local people. I mean, that's a cool thing. We should do a whole podcast on that in the future.
Well, that's just an idea that I had to put out there for our local food and beverage people.
But it's not just for our local food and beverage people. It could be expanded to any city, any town, any little.
All right. Well, that begs me to give a little intro into what that idea is.
Let's talk about that.
So the idea is that if you are looking to help your local food banks and shelters, particularly during this difficult time, but you're also looking to support local business, it would be wonderful if there was an opportunity to purchase items for our local food banks and
Yeah.
shelters and other groups helping out those in need, and purchase it through local business. So you could call up company ABC and, pay for coffee for a Saturday morning at a local shelter. Or you could, if you're, ordering a meal for your family at a local restaurant for takeout, maybe you have the opportunity to also purchase 5-bag lunches for youth in the community that are in need. So
Absolutely.
that's the idea of sort of using, rather than just making a monetary donation directly to the shelter. As we know, our shelter volunteers can be quite taxed in terms of food prep, and people want to minimize visits to, pick up food and ingredients maybe at those big box stores. So the idea is to support local business and alleviate some of the workload with the shelters at the same time. So I've sort of put that idea out in our community here in St. John just by creating a Facebook page just to see if there are any local food and beverage establishments that would want to
work with you. And,
well,
or
not work with me. Really, they would have to reach
Yeah.
out to those shelters or organizations to find out what they need, and then just have it in among their offerings
Yeah.
that people can call up and do that. So
I think it's a fantastic idea, and I think that, like I said, it's scalable. You could do it in any little town, any big city. This is a great concept that could be used over and over.
it's a unique time, and I think anything that we can do to keep our local businesses, afloat and bridge the gap until things reach some degree of normalcy again will be beneficial to our overall community and our economy as
I
a
agree.
whole. So we're blessed to have some amazing restaurants and cafes here in Uptown St. John and in the Greater St. John area here in New Brunswick, and we just want to see them thrive and continue to thrive for years to come. So that's the idea around that.
Local food for local people. Number 15. What is the greatest accomplishment of your life?
That one is. It sounds so cliche, but I have to say it would have to be, becoming a mother and just being a parent, being present for our son, being, that to me, is that enough of an accomplishment? Having
No.
given birth?
Yeah, it absolutely
I know
is.
I wish I had
It
something
absolutely
more
is. It's
unique to say, but for me, that truly is probably the most important thing I could accomplish in my lifetime, is to give, give the gift of,
yeah.
well, it's not the gift of life. That's not the right word.
But
I'm
I
at a loss for
understand,
words tonight, but-
I understand where you're coming from, though.
Yeah. So
Um,
our son. Yeah.
Yeah, our
That's
son.
it.
It all goes back to our son.
He's my biggest accomplishment.
Funny. Yeah. All right, number 16.
No,
What-
you've got to answer.
Oh, the
It's not that easy.
greatest accomplishment in my life is meeting you, honey, because you've given me everything that makes me happy in life. Number 16.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Well, these are questions that are supposed to make us fall in love, and I think it's working.
Well, Jeff's getting this look. Jeff is sporting a new hairdo too, because he just recently shaved off all of his hair.
Yeah, my
He
pandemic.
is leveled up into pandemic Jeff mode and activated the shaved head look. Well, not fully shaven, but much shorter. So he's good for a couple months now.
Yeah.
No haircuts needed.
I know, and my friend Andrew did the exact same thing tonight. He's just like, "What number did you use?" He sent me a text like for the guard, and I said 4, and he's like, "All right, I'm doing it." And he's like, I can't wait to do this." And I understand where he's coming from, because I absolutely love the way it feels. Like, I love the freeness of it, and you don't have to worry about a single thing. It's just like, it's great. It's light and airy, and it's great.
Easy breezy, beautiful cover, Jeff.
That's right. Number 17. What is your most treasured memory?
Oh,
Try not to have too long of an awkward pause.
I know. We're doing a podcast, right?
Yeah. Hey, come on now. Hello.
I feel like the first 12 questions were much easier, and that's intended, because the way these 36 questions to fall in love are structured is the first set of 12 are supposed to be a little lighter, and then the second set dive a little deeper.
Right.
And really what I'm doing as I'm speaking is trying to buy myself a little more time to say
Oh, I know.
my most treasured memory. I think it would have to be walking down the aisle when we were married.
Ah, you took my answer. We're allowed to have
Well, you
the
didn't
same.
walk down the aisle, though. You just stood at the end.
I did to get to the end of the aisle.
But there is something true, and I think only anyone who's walked down the aisle would understand this. But when you are walking down the aisle and you're looking at all of the, your friends and family, assuming you have a fairly large wedding, and ours was fairly large, but you're seeing these people from all areas of your life, and from your work, from your childhood, your
Right.
family, extended family, and seeing all of them together in one room to celebrate a moment with you. There's something so special about that. And it's kind of eerie to compare it to, but the only other time I can think when you'd have all those people together would be at your funeral,
At your
right?
funeral. That's what I was thinking as well.
But you don't get the benefit of walking down the aisle,
No.
so to speak. Maybe it's maybe you're walked down the aisle. But yeah, there's something special about having everybody together to celebrate your love and
That's a great
uh,
answer, honey.
yeah.
I have a kind of a different answer. It's like this one time I was coming out of the record store, and I saw something rolling on the ground, and it was a $20 bill, and I was like, "Whoa!" And so
How
I
does a
was really-
$20 bill roll, honey?
I was really happy. Well, in the
I'm calling
wind,
this-
in the
oh,
wind.
Oh, it's like a tumbleweed.
It's a tumbleweed $20 bill.
going down
That's right.
Germain.
Yeah, you can hear like the spaghetti western sounds and stuff, and I couldn't believe it. Found $20 as treasured memory for sure. That and the wedding.
I feel like you're not taking these questions as seriously as I am.
I told you that my original answer was the same as yours.
Okay.
I'm just playing.
I'm going to make you.
What is your most?
Pointing my finger. You're going to give the next answer first because I feel like you're using my answers as a
18. You just get to go first.
36 questions to pick a fight.
18. What is your most terrible memory?
Oh.
Do we really want to talk about that? I
Some
don't
of
really.
these we can veto, but I would have.
Pass.
Well, no, I mean, I've been with two of my grandparents during their passing, but even though those moments are really hard, they were also had some beauty in the fact that you had family there together and there was an official send off. Terrible
Absolutely.
memory.
I
I don't know.
You don't really have
Nothing
to.
I really want to revisit, I guess.
Number 19. If you knew that in 1 year you would die suddenly, well, this is really cheery. Would you change anything about the way you are now living? Why?
Oh, I would travel more.
I would not be isolated.
This is a hard question to answer in the middle of a pandemic when you can basically do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I'd be not isolated. How's that sound?
I mean, a lot of the times people will say they wish they had done this or that or told somebody something, or I do like to think that I live my life as though, like in every day is like in the present. But I think I'd probably spend more of my money and not save anything. If I knew it was that would be the thing I would do. So I would just spend all of our savings and leave you without a dime.
Leave me
Wait,
without
are we
a
both
dime.
dying in a year, or is it just me?
Well,
I'd have to leave some for our son. So I'd say I'd spend a good portion of our savings, but still leave enough to the people I love were well cared for. How's that?
Oh, that's
Does that pass?
That's a great answer.
Okay, what's your answer?
What was the question? Oh yeah, if you knew you had to die, or if you knew you would die suddenly, would you change anything about the way you are now living? No, and that's the honest to God truth. I don't think I would. I'm pretty happy with the way our lives are going, and I mean, I would kind of take an eraser to all this pandemic crap, but other than that, I mean,
You wouldn't buy the most
we've-
expensive record player that there ever was?
No, I'm happy with the one I have now. Like, it's really
Oh,
nice.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad I got that one on
Yeah.
record.
I am happy with the one I have now. It's excellent. No pun intended.
Nice.
I heard that. All right. So, what does friendship mean to you? Oh, by the way, this is number 20. We got 24. So, what does friendship mean to you? I bet you we're going to have the same answer for this one, too. I'll bet you. Maybe not.
It is, what does it mean to me? Is it only one thing? For me, it's like two things.
It doesn't say one. Just go and riff about friendship.
Riffing about it. There's a loyalty there, of course. I think most of us expect a loyalty with our friendships. But the other part is that there is a genuine interest in caring about the other person. So when someone says, "How's your day?" they're actually
Wondering.
They actually want to know, and they're going to listen to the answer, and they're interested in, and they share in your accomplishments, and they share in your pain, and to me, because they have a connection and just a deep caring for you as a person without judgment.
That's my answer. Is I like it. A friendship is great when, sometimes really great friendships, you don't see one another very much. But when you do, nothing's really changed. That's what I consider a really great friendship. There's not one person that's like, how come you didn't call me, you jerk? It's more like, hey, we're here now. Let's share the time that we have with one another right now, even if we don't see each other again for another year.
That's a really good way to look at it, because when people say, "Oh, why didn't you call me?" I always think that's kind of goes both ways. Well, why didn't you call them?
Yeah, exactly.
And I agree that probably, all of our friendships operate that way. That we all realize and respect that times get busy, and nothing does change. You can pick up the conversation, and whether it's I've got friends that I'm still in touch with that I've known since I was 6 years old, and we can go a year without speaking, but when we pick back up, it's just as though not a moment's passed, really. So good answer.
Well, that's my answer.
I don't mean to act surprised, but good answer. What number are we on?
We are on number 21, and 21 is, what roles do love and affection play in your life?
Well, very strong roles. I feel love is incredibly important.
And affection? What about that?
And affection. I mean, affection, I guess, is a way that you're demonstrating the love for the people in your life.
You and I
right?
aren't overly affectionate in public. We don't have a big public display of affection.
PDAs?
PDA. But there's an affection there. I mean, you don't have to be all over one another in order to...
I think affection is displayed in a lot of different ways. I mean, you might think, I guess with PDAs, we think a physical display, but affection can be done in a way that, maybe affection is washing, somebody's car or something. I don't know. Maybe it's in doing a deed or doing a service for somebody. Maybe that's how you're showing affection for the people you love. But I feel love and affection are incredibly important, because without love, I mean, what really is there in life?
I agree.
You got to add more to it than that.
Well, I do, though. I agree.
I can't wait till the last 12 questions that I'll be asking, and you have to answer first.
I agree. I mean, what if I said, I don't really care too much for love or affection, so screw them, Obviously, everyone who reads that is probably going to agree with it, right? And think it's a positive thing.
Or you might find out you're married to a serial killer.
That's true. In a kill room. Number 22. Alternate sharing something you... Alternate sharing something you consider a positive characteristic of your partner. Share a total of 5 items.
Oh, okay.
You get to go first. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, so now it pays off for me.
Go ahead,
to
I'll
first.
just get comfy.
Okay, you are a great artist.
I'm not really. I have fun with it, though.
You're not. You have to just accept the compliment.
Thank you.
I know this isn't written in the question. I'm just making it up. But I think as people, we need to just accept the compliments sometimes and say thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Now you're trying to say something amazing about me. I will accept it.
You always keep the train from going off the rails. I help too, but
sometimes
you're very, very diligent about covering all of the rules and aspects that keep that train on the rails. and anything that deviates away from the train on the rails will be eliminated.
I feel like this positive characteristic has taken on a little bit of a slant.
Nope, need that. Let's just do 2.
You have a great sense of humor.
Well, so do you.
Sarcastic and dry.
Yeah.
Oh, you're throwing it back at me?
Well,
Okay.
you do. Well, I mean, we were going to fight over senses of humor. Wouldn't that be funny? Yeah. Well. Anyway.
Okay,
yeah,
so that's 2 each.
sense of
You
humor.
are a very good son.
And father.
I'm doing one at a time.
Okay, you're a good.
I have to
you're a
I have to
great
come up
mother.
with 5 good things.
You're a
Don't make me bundle them up into one.
You're a great mother then. Yeah. No, it's.
All right, number 4 is father. You're a great
Yeah.
father.
Yeah.
And what's your number 4?
It's not easy having good things thrown at you, is it?
It's not good. Do you have any more to say about me? You only said 3.
Well, you're an amazing mother.
Sometimes it's like trying to pull teeth to get a compliment out of you. All right, number 5 for you then
Yeah.
is you are,
Hopefully, people don't find this all self-indulgent.
well, it is a bit self-indulgent, but you're supposed to,
Like they really want to know about our lives.
as you're listening to it, you should be.
Okay.
It sounds no, but I mean the intent of this is that you should be reflecting on what your own answers are and what you would say about the people that you love in your life. So
Absolutely.
you need to make it, I think as a listener, make it personal and about yourself, but we're just giving you our answers as examples. Food
That's
for
right.
thought.
Yes.
Number 5, great. See, Jeff got very uncomfortable when I started giving him compliments on air.
I'm not used to getting compliments.
You're not. And when I
No.
said artist, that was all encompassing because that's music, painting, photography, all those things. You've got it all, the whole shebang.
Thank you.
I bundled it into one compliment of being a great artist. But my number 5 would be that you're a great friend. I think
Okay.
anybody who has you as a friend would.
But I'm not
Say
the
that.
biggest stay-in-toucher, but I do
Well, there's a lot more to being a friend, I think, than.
hold on to my friends
Frequency
with
of
hoops of
contact.
steel, as Shakespeare would say.
No, I think you're just a great friend.
All right.
Did anybody else notice
Um,
that Jeff's not going to say my 5th?
Oh, you got a 5th one coming. Okay.
No, just go to the next question if it's a struggle.
Let me think here.
They're tuning out.
No,
They're tuning out.
you're making me so I can't tune in. I can't think. You're just an amazing person all around. Why do I have to pick particular things when everything about you is amazing?
I didn't write these questions. We're just
Okay.
reading them.
We'll just take that.
Wow, the compliments one really went downhill.
Number 23. How close and warm is your family?
Very close and very warm.
Do you feel your childhood was happier than most other people's?
Absolutely. I feel very fortunate to have had a very close family growing up, and we're still very close. So yeah, I feel very fortunate, and I hope that most people had the same experience, but I know that's not the case.
Yeah. Well, without going into too much detail, my family is hit and miss, but where it hits, it's like amazing. Where it misses, it's really horrible.
Let's just focus on those hits.
Like a lot of, like a lot of families, there's aspects that are positive and negative, and honestly, that's just kind of what makes a family dynamic in a way. I mean, you don't have to have the upheaval, but it's there in a lot of families. So,
yeah, in some families, that's what works. That's the
Yeah.
dynamic that works and draws them even closer.
But yeah, my mother and my sisters are all amazing. So, yeah. And the last one, oh wow, we're just in time. How do you feel about your relationship with your mother? Well, how do you feel about the relationship with your mother?
I feel very good. My mom is one of my best friends, and she's always there for me, and hopefully I'm always there for her. And we support one another, go to each other for advice. Yeah. I'm very happy, and it's a great relationship.
I
Love you, Mama.
absolutely adore my mother so much. Everything that is positive that I've learned in life, I've learned from her, and I owe it all to her, and I love her so much. So that's how I feel about my mom.
Well, that was the end of set 2.
Set 2.
Part 2, second set of questions. So if you didn't listen to part 1,
Yeah.
make sure you circle back and do that. And stay tuned for part 3.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for listening.
And remember, you can catch up on past episodes at infoquench.com.
Or just about anywhere else you get your podcasts.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
And help spread the word about InfoQuench.
Till next time.